Hello, this is Renee Hahn with William Ravis Real Estate, bringing you the monthly Naples area market update. I'm broadcasting to you today from the lake house, so I'm a little casual today. It's lake time. We got to stop for a night on our way out of town. So anyways, bear with me here. I wanted to start with some overall comments like I always do. And again, I want to remind everyone that we're always looking at things with a month delay. So the data we're going to talk about today is from August, even though we're in September, and that's because we want to make sure that all of the data is buttoned up. Any straggling transactions get recorded in the systems before Naples Area Board of Realtors releases the statistics, the official statistics. So let's start with an overall assessment, and then we'll dive into the key metrics that I share every month. Indications are right now that the Naples area housing market is transitioning to more of a balanced market. And I talk about that versus October through April, where things were leapfrogging, where the price was steadily going up with each listing. But there's some key indicators that show us that things are much more balanced. And that became evident during August as you look at, and we get into the report, inventory and days on market, both of those increased. And as we get deeper into this market update, you'll also see a continued pattern of price drops, and the sold price versus list price has also gone down. So again, broker analysts say that these factors are attributed to seller and buyer behaviors that resemble more of what we call a healthy market, a healthy environment. As much as buyers love it when it's a buyer's market and sellers love it when it's a seller's market, the reality is it's much healthier for both parties when it's balanced, because it doesn't drive out behaviors that aren't sustainable. One thing to keep in mind, if you're a buyer, there are certainly many opportunities for buyers right now. The market is healthy. Inventory is up, so you have more homes to choose from. Demand continues to be somewhat steady, and the prices are what we call more realistic. So when you consider that and the fact that the alternative renting is starting to skyrocket, the option to buy is certainly still desirable, despite some of the other things we're seeing, like increased mortgage rates, lending rates. So for buyers, that's a good thing. And if it's a good thing for buyers and it creates some churn in the system, some good churn, then it ends up being a good thing for sellers as well. All right, let's look at the first metric here. So there were 850 new listings in August. This represented a 16.9% decrease compared to August of 2021. So in August of 2021, there were 1,023 new listings that were on the market. Buyers should be aware that listings don't just come from sellers entering the market for the first time, but it can also be a function of existing inventory where the home's list price maybe have been decreased, or from sales that were pending but fell through and it came back on the market. So when we look at new listings, this isn't always just the number of raw new homes coming on. If a home falls through and becomes active again, that's also picked up in the new listings. So new listings has gone down a little bit, but you're going to see, again, year over year, you're going to see what's going on with inventory next. So let's talk about that. Overall inventory increased 71.3% to 2,141 doors, or homes, if you will. That is an increase in August of 2021, 1,249. I do want to point out, incidentally, that there were 4,917 properties in inventory during August of 2019. Why do we talk about August 2019? Because that was pre-pandemic. So if you look, even though inventory is up 71% year over year, look at what it compares to in August of 2019. I just think that's an interesting data point to keep in mind. The other thing I want to talk about is showings. So while showings were down 13% compared to August of last year, there were higher showings reported during June and July, and there were 5,000 more showings in August compared to showings reported pre-pandemic. So again, you look at the inventory we had in August 2019, and yet our showing traffic, although down, is up over that period of time 2 years ago. Let's see what's going on with homes going under contract. So although inventory has continued to grow in recent months, the number of homes going under contract versus this time last year, so August of 2021, it's decreased 19%. The past 2 years were more steady throughout the year. So we joke about actually in real estate, normally in Naples real estate, the summer's so slow you can actually go on a vacation. In the last 2 summers of 20 and 21, you couldn't get away. It stayed steady all year, but this year behaved more of what I would call a normal Naples season pattern, with sales being lower in the summer months. Now, certainly when you consider what the investment market performance is doing and interest rates, those can influence the number of people purchasing. But remember that our market still benefits from more than half of the homes purchased being secured with cash. So we tend to be a little bit more insulated and maybe not as negatively affected by things like interest rate, although they do certainly affect us, not to the same extent that you'll see in other areas. Let's talk about closed. So closed sales for August decreased 36.7% from 669, which is what we were at August this year. In August of 2021, we were at 1,057. It did increase 5.6% compared to July's closed sales. So we got a little bit of a bump coming out of the middle of the summer. And historically, closed sales and pending sales, so again, pending being homes under contract in August, don't tend to outperform July's closed sales, but this year was different. So pending sales in August did increase nearly 20%. It's actually 19.2% compared to July. So that's a month over month, not a year over year. Year over year, we're down 37%. Month over month, we're up 19.2%. Days on market. This is where you'll start to see a shift. So days on market has been steadily going up, but let's talk about the base. This is kind of the same story when we talk about interest rates. The millennials see, interest rates hitting 6% and slightly above, and it's pure panic. Those of us that may be a little older may remember when interest rates were 11% and higher. So it all becomes relative. Don't get me wrong. We all loved those 3% interest rates when we could get them. In fact, it's part of why people buckled down and stayed in homes, because they knew if they were going to go repurchase, they weren't going to get to enjoy the same interest rate that they might be enjoying on their current home. But again, to keep this relative, we're down 35%. Sorry, that's a typo. We're actually up 35% year over year, August of last year to this year. My arrow's backwards, my apologies. Or the arrow's correct. My wording is backwards. But look at August of 2019. August of 2019, the average days on market was 103. We're sitting at 31 right now. It's not bad. Again, I think as the market continues to reset, if you will, we're going to see this number creep up inevitably. Now, it's important to know there are still homes that are selling fast. So what I'd hate for buyers to do is get complacent and think they've got time to drag out decisions. You can take your time, but don't be surprised if it's a home in a highly desirable area or if it's a home that's renovated, because right now renovations can take a long time to get done. Some of the general contractors that I work with are already booking a year or more out. So when there's something that's already been renovated and it's renovated to somebody's taste, it can still get snatched up really quickly. So, as we start to see days on market increase, know that that's a function of all the homes, and not all the homes sell at the same rate. So you're seeing a trend, but don't get too lazy about acting on something that is of strong interest to you. And the last metric we're going to talk about is median closed price. And I always say, you look at this and you say up 31%, wahoo, let's celebrate. And that is great. But I need to remind you that it is a function of mix for the most part. So of the homes on the market during August, 35.8% of them, 766 to be exact, experienced a price decrease. And the overall list price compared to what the sold price is did go down to 96.4%. If you remember, when we were at the height of the market and things were leapfrogging year over year over year, you had homes selling at or above ask price. That's slowing down. We're not seeing as many market or multi-offer situations. I've seen a few of them, but not many. And so you see a settling of the list price to purchase price. If you look at August of 2021, a year ago, the average was 99.2%. And again, that was really a function of many selling above. The overall median close price continues to increase. So again, August, it was up 30.7%. So if you look at August of 2021, the median closed price was $440. This year it was $575. Again, we talked about the mix, but just to give you an idea, there were only 31 single family homes and 79 condominiums under 300,000 on the market during the month of August. If you look at August 2019, there were 1,400 properties under 300,000. So let's look at those numbers again. 31 single family homes, 79 condominiums listed under 300,000. In August 2019, there were 1,400. So with so few available in the low price category today, we should expect that the median close price is going to continue to stay high as long as the high-end market continues to stay very active. So again, that's more of a mixed story versus a true appreciation. Certainly homes appreciated over the last 2 years, but a lot of what you're seeing compared to last year is more a function of mix. So hopefully this is helpful information for you. I wanted to do this as a quick update and not take up too much of your time. So my goal is always to keep these at 15 minutes or less. But I hope you know you can always call me at 239-287-2576 if you want to talk about the specifics, dive deeper into any of these statistics, or look at your home. The reality is that Naples is still a very highly segmented market. It's segmented by price, it's segmented by type of home you're trying to sell, and it's segmented by neighborhood. So even though we talk about overarching statistics in this market report, there's a lot of value to diving into things that are more closer to home, particularly if you're contemplating trying to make a big decision as it relates to the home that you have here or one you're hoping to purchase. So as always, feel free to call, or you can go to www.yournaplesexpert.com. I highly encourage you to do that because below this video, I have interactive graphs that are updated all the time, real time. You can hover over them and get deep dive statistical information about many more market parameters than what I cover in this video. So feel free to take advantage of that resource. It's something I put together for you, not for me. So feel free to do that. And I hope everyone has a fabulous weekend.